Yo, what's going on, my boys? Oh my god, I was over here like thinking, should I make another one? Like, yeah, let's make another one. You already know what to do. my, my boy, like this is one guy that inspires me, but that ass, like I feel like everyone like reacts to him too. Like I saw a couple people react to him, but that ass, he is too fucking funny, y'all. Like that ass, he's just too funny, yo. Like that ass is like whenever he does like scary reactions, like it makes my ass laugh. Like it makes everyone laugh. I remember a couple. I remember like Five Nights with Freddy. You know, yeah, like that ass. That shit was always funny. He does more of that, and I decided to wait on myself to do this shit because like if I would have watched all of them, then I would have like been bored. But that ass, he is so freaking hilarious. I'm about to get into it right now. The title: The ocean is way deeper than you think. Pause. Number 12. Only watch if you're scared of huge underwater monsters. I know there's a at the end of it, right there at the end of it. You already know. Let's get into the shits, you know?
Guys, it's your boy BlastPhamous HD. Okay, so look, peep game. A lot of my videos of me watching deep water stuff has started going viral. Now, the reason for that more than likely is because deep water gives me anxiety. I'm scared of it, you know what I mean? I don't even like saying it out loud, but we all know it's the truth at this point. Enough so as to where it's just watching this stuff
I get excited watching scary stuff
so,
too.
with that being said, let's do this before I lose my nerve, yo. Let's get it popping.
5 extremely creepy sea creatures.
Look at his face.
Number 5, the Ninjin. This creature from the depths of the ocean may be just about the creepiest thing you ever see. The reason for this is that it looks just like a human, even having strange limbs that resemble arms and legs. The name Ninjin is actually human in Japanese. However, there is no...
Okay, so there's underwater Slender Man now. Thank you so much, Elite Facts. Just another reason why I don't get in the large bodies of water.
No need to panic and worry that the world will be taken over by strange alien sea creatures, because there have never been any official sightings of this little beastie. In general opinion is that it's just a freaky urban myth, much like the mermaid.
It's gotta be a myth.
Number 4. Mantis shrimp. This rainbow-hued little creature is not as nice as it looks. It's actually extremely clever and horribly dangerous. One of its main talents is being able to see colors that far surpass even the furthest imagination of humans. As well as, it's an efficient killing machine. It has 2 appendages at the front of its body, which can lash out so powerfully that they cause the water surrounding the creature to reach boiling point. So even the...
I've scored some pretty good deals on Poshmark, like the Bread Air Jordan 1. This is my favorite sneaker of all time, so I was able to find it.
And the clever prey that have managed to avoid the physical attack will be rendered defenseless by the boiling water. Number 3. Pelican eel.
What the hell is that?
Eels in general are quite creepy looking, but this one has taken it to another level. This slippery character is basically just a huge mouth with a tail attached. The mouth itself is absolutely terrifying. It unhinges so its owner can catch prey that is twice its size. The chosen prey is then stored in a pouch within the lower jaw. However, the tail can be just as weird, as it possesses a small light-producing organ that is called a photophore and gives off an eerie pink glow. Number 2. Humpback anglerfish. The female of this species most certainly has a license to kill. She uses her feminine charm, which comes in the form of a bioluminescent lure, dangling over her forehead, to draw in prey that she can destroy with her rows of ferocious teeth.
That fish is from freaking Finding Nemo.
So it's not that far from human females, apparently.
Number 1. Predatory tunicate. This is basically a Venus flytrap that lives underwater. They are almost completely translucent and stick themselves to the seafloor and wait patiently for a tasty meal to come along. Once an unsuspecting critter falls for the trap, the creatures snap their hoods shut until they've had their fill.
Okay, that wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was, but it's only because dude didn't have a lot of examples.
The ocean can be a scary place, but nothing comes close to the giant creatures that used to lurk below. Here are 9 of the most terrifying sea monsters of all.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Number 9, Predator X. Predator X is the most powerful marine reptile ever discovered. Over 15 meters long and weighing about 4 tons, it was twice as big as most Jurassic predators. The giant reptile roamed the seas about 150 million years ago and was officially classified as a new species. Now known as Pliosaurus funke, it had a massive 2-meter skull with a bite 4 times as powerful as the Tyrannosaurus rex, although I prefer the name Predator X. Studies of the brain cavity of Predator X has revealed that its brain was actually similar to the much smaller great white shark. In 2006, scientists found 2 massive pliosaur skeletons in Norway. The giant creatures looked slightly different from other pliosaurs discovered in England and France over the last century and a half. The pliosaur family had short necks and 4 large paddle-shaped limbs like a turtle that allowed them to move up to 5 meters per second. The newly discovered funke species likely lived closer to 145 million years ago and ate plesiosaurs, related long-necked, small-headed reptiles. The new analysis shows P. funke had longer front paddles than other pliosaurs and different teeth. This predator is still bigger than the largest living apex predator, the killer whale, which tops out at about 9 meters long. Number 8. Plesiosaurs. Plesiosaurs were a group of marine reptiles or dinosaurs that weren't actually dinosaurs but lived at the same time during the Jurassic period. It had a tiny head and a long neck, paddle flippers, and a tail. Even though it was smaller than Predator X, its mouth was full of meat during the Jurassic period. It had a tiny head and a long neck, paddle flippers, and a tail. Even though it was smaller than Predator X, its mouth was full of needle-like teeth pointing inward, a perfect death trap for prey and for ripping flesh. In 1987, a plesiosaur fossil was discovered with the bones of an embryo in its abdomen, proving that the animal gave birth to live young. This creature seems to have somehow given rise to the Loch Ness Monster, as the physical description is very similar. Plesiosaurs would swallow stones weighing about 5 pounds to help them digest their prey. If there was one plesiosaur you needed to watch out for, it was Liopleurodon. This carnivorous beast could weigh over 3,500 pounds and reach over 30 feet in length, including jaws that are believed to be 10 feet alone, complete, of course, with a very wide jaw and several rows of razor-sharp teeth. Their bodies consisted of a unique paddle design for limbs, which has been tested and proven on small swimming robots that the Liopleurodon would not have been super fast, but they were terrifyingly agile. Most likely they hunted similar to the crocodiles of today, with short and fast burst attack.
Bro, where they getting these pictures at, yo? I don't do none of this. This ain't how I do, man. I appreciate the lack of demonstrations they have, but I don't. No, these pictures.
They just look so real.
So that makes them just perfect for any underwater haunted aquarium. Number 7. Giant sea scorpion. Since there's no way I can pronounce this, we'll just call this one the giant sea scorpion. Larger than a human and about the size of a crocodile, the 390-million-year-old sea scorpion was the top predator of its day. This was one of the 2 largest arthropods to have ever lived, reaching a length of over 8 feet of armored clawed horror. Most of us freak out at the thought of a tarantula, so it's easy to imagine screaming like a banshee.
Yo, I'm done.
I don't do spiders, bro. Like anything smaller than me that moves faster than me, I don't like it.
If you ever swam by one of these. A huge fossilized spiky claw discovered in Germany in 2007 measured 18 inches. We've known about supersized insects for years now, but it wasn't until this discovery that scientists realized just how big some of these creepy crawlies can get. The next biggest fossil arthropods were massive millipedes that grew more than 2 meters long. Number 6. Basilosaurus.
Shake it up.
He keeps scared by the numbers, yo.
Check it out. We're gonna have to watch some cat pictures after this one, yo. That's real. That's the, you know what I mean? Cat picture therapy.
Dinosaur's name and appearance make it seem like an ancient reptile, but it's actually a bloodthirsty ancestor of today's whales. It's ironic given that its name means king lizard, but
freaking music, man!
that's because when it was discovered by Richard Owen in 1834, it was thought to be a reptile. It wasn't until over 10 years later that he discovered it was actually a mammal and tried to rename it the Zeuglodon, meaning yolk tooth, but that didn't really catch on. It's the closest a whale has ever come to being a snake due to its long eel-like body, averaging about 65 feet long, complete with a narrow snout and jaw full of large, spiky teeth. It most likely ate other kinds of prehistoric mammals as its main food source. Its skeletal structure was surprisingly weak for its size and power. Its vertebrae was actually hollow, so it stayed near the water surface where the pressure wasn't as intense, waiting for
man.
It's just a whale, my boy. What you all up here for?
Cute cat pictures.
He's about to look up cat pics. Oh my god. Oh, my boy.
Why does this work? Bro, this legit works. Oh, he thinks it's an airplane.
Thinks he's an airplane.
I immediately feel so much better, bro. Oh my god. Oh man.
I think he's just laughing. He probably has cats. That's probably why he's laughing. I don't have any cats. My brother used to have cats, but I don't know. Like, I didn't really think cat pictures are that funny. Like, I don't know.
Did I have cats, bro? Oh.
He has them.
Oh, look, he has a mustache. Oh, this one's a sandwich. They see this is so...
It's just cute. That's it.
Cat picture therapy, bruh. That is so real. Oh, this one's a rabbit. Very confused rabbit. Oh.
It's so stupid.
Oh, yes.
But he's not stupid, though. He's funny as hell.
Yeah. No, this one's got a rabbit frame. Isn't that pretty? We back in there, people. Oh, man.
Other whales to come up for air. Luckily, we weren't around back then because I don't know if our ships would be able to handle a cannibalistic 65-foot-long alligator, eel, snake, whale thing. Physical evidence shows that the basilosaur weren't very smart and they didn't have the cognitive ability of today's whales, nor did they have echolocation. Strangely enough, they only navigated in 2 dimensions, so they didn't do any deep diving or breaching. Weird. Number 5. Dunkleosteus. The Dunkleosteus existed during the Devonian period when vertebrates were just starting to live on land. The Dunkleosteus was much more evolved. It was around 30 feet long and didn't have teeth, but instead bony plates like turtles today, which combined with an 8,000-pound bite force made for an extremely unfair fight. There were many bony armored fish in the ocean in those days, and the strong bite would crush the chunky exterior, making its prey more edible. Dunkle's head and neck was protected by a hard shield, which also helped to concentrate its immensely powerful biting muscles. The Dunkleosteus is right up there with the crocodile and T-Rex for history's strongest biters, and I'm sure if it were around today, it would hold that title proud. Based on evidence from their skull regarding musculature, it is believed that the Dunkleosteus could open its mouth in 1/50th of a second. During its years on Earth, the Dunkleosteus plates that made up its teeth changed to allow it to hold its prey more easily as it tried to escape for dear life. It is only once the Dunkleosteus went extinct that sharks became the dominant predators they are today. Number 4. Megalodon. Thanks to Shark Week on the Discovery Channel, the
Oh, it gets good at Megalodon.
Megalodon is now a very famous ancient sea beast. It could reach over 60 feet in length and was about 3 to 5 times the size of today's great white shark. Weighing as much as 100 tons, it had the most powerful bite of any creature that has ever lived. In the massive 7-foot jaws of the megalodon, there were 5 rows of around 276 compressed blade-like teeth that were made for cutting and grasping powerful prey. Its bite was strong enough to crush a car and was much stronger than that of the great white shark and even Tyrannosaurus rex. Because shark skeletons are mostly cartilage, the only evidence of the megalodon we have today is teeth, jaw fragments, and some vertebrae. Some cryptozoologists believe that the megalodon could still be alive today in some of the deeper parts of the ocean. Although it isn't very likely. There have been some reports of a huge shark, most recently near the Sea of Cortez.
Okay, that's 100% CGI. See, you know what I mean? Like, if it looks super duper unrealistic, even I don't fall for that. But honestly, there's no telling, because I've fallen for that before.
Oh yeah, but yet you can still be scared of freaking slideshows where it counts down to the numbers, right?
Leviathan, the megalodon, hunted near the surface. Over the years, it developed a unique hunting technique, one that included erupting like a rocket from the depths of the ocean to slam into the bellies of whales near the surface. This idea comes from fossil evidence showing ancient whale vertebrae to have compression damage that seems to have been caused by a tremendous blow from beneath. For larger victims, they would bite off the fins and tail and then beat it into submission before eating it. The megalodon died off about 2.6 million years ago, which means it ate animals that are still around today, like whales, porpoises, and sea turtles. So why did the megalodon die off when
Oh my god!
I'm gonna check that one out, man. That was...
creatures that lived around the same time survived? It's likely that the
I got so scared. Oh no, we gotta go back. We gotta go back for that part, yo. Oh my god. I can't breathe. I'm so scared.
The megalodon died off about 2.6 million years ago, which means it ate animals that are still around today, like whales, porpoises, and sea turtles. So why did the megalodon die off
I'm gonna edit that one out, man. That was...
creatures that lived around the same time survived? It's likely that the changing temperatures of water of the last ice age and declining food supplies, probably because it was eating everything in sight, led the monster shark to extinction. Number 3, Leviathan melville. You know how I was just telling you about carnivorous whales? Moby Dick may have been fictional, but this prehistoric predatory whale had the largest functional teeth ever known, some measuring over a foot long. First described in 2008, we now know that it was one of the most fearsome predators in the ocean and lived around the same time as the megalodon and competed for the same food. If they came face to face, I wonder who would win this epic battle. Weighing up to 50 tons, their head alone was about 10 feet long, and it seems like they were equipped with the same echolocating equipment as modern whales. It is believed that the Leviathan was a surface hunter and headbutted its victims at high speed to knock them unconscious, which is when its teeth would come into play. So what happened to this powerful sea beast? Large predators have had a hard time adapting to changing conditions, and the changing climate and food supply may have been too much for it. It's still a relatively new species for us, so as research continues, we may be in for more surprises. Number 2, Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus.
Yo, so bad. Yo.
It may have been too much for it. It's still a relatively new species for us, so as research continues, we may be in for more surprises. Number 2, Mosasaurus. Mosasaurs were marine reptiles that lived during the dinosaur era.
One more time, yo.
Number 2, Mosasaurus. Mosasaurs were marine reptiles that lived during the dinosaur era. Reaching almost 60 feet in length, it was about the same size as the megalodon. Both were the apex predators of the sea while they lived, but these monsters were separated by about 50 million years. The Mosasaurus was one of the most dangerous beasts prowling the waters throughout.
All right, see, this ain't even that bad for some reason. I appreciate the break.
throughout the entire Cretaceous period. It had a head shape similar to a crocodile with anywhere from 40 to 50 massive teeth and a jaw that was double hinged so they could swallow their prey whole like a snake. Like all other reptiles, it had to come to the surface to breathe air, and it had paddle-like fins that gave it better mobility in the water.
Nah, I probably, well, maybe I will. That show is actually pretty funny. Hold up, I'm put it on the watch list so I could watch later list. Oh my god, that shit was so fucking funny, my G. Oh my god. Yo, that shark coming right at him, yo, that just, I could not stop laughing. And then show number 2, and all that, he just went like, yo, I swear, yo, this guy is so funny and this scary ass reaction. I'm gonna do a lot more of these like that, as they're so funny. I'm gonna put a playlist out there too, BlastPhamous HD scary moments reaction. I'm gonna do that for y'all. Alright, I'll catch y'all later. I'm trying to make a short video, like short outro, so I'll see y'all. Peace.